here's the hard truth. Marketing ads don't close deals. Human-to-human interactions do. The emotional connection. And a lot of agency owners ignore that. And that's why they have good ads, but they don't sell a ton on the back end. So I'm going to show you a few techniques that you can use right now with your people to start closing more deals and building each prospect into the identity of the person who becomes a buyer rather than saying they weren't qualified. Everybody's qualified once you learn how to do this. All right, come over here. This is called an NEPQ identity frame, all right? So instead of qualifying the prospect, okay, because it's not like the prospect can't get your services if they really want to, right? Unless you're selling a $5 million monthly retainer to a homeless person, they can get the funding, their company can get the funding if they see it as a priority, a really big need, okay? Now, part of that is I've got to get them to open up emotionally in that conversation, okay? So I might start off asking a few what are called connection questions. Let's say if they booked on your calendar, okay? So they get on the calendar, hello, blah, blah. Okay, so see the notes here? It looks like you booked on the calendar about, hey, getting some, I guess, higher qualified leads to really grow your company, right? Instantly, I'm starting to take them from price or cost-based thinking to results-based thinking. Right, it's gonna be hard for them to say, no, I'm not. I want to grow the business. And then I might go into my second connection question. Hey, so when you saw the ad where we were talking about X and Y and Z, what was it that they were going over that caused you to feel like, hey, maybe I should look into this a little bit further? Well, I have this problem, I have this problem, I have this, and then I'm going to go into this frame. You want to write this down, very important. Okay, I'm going to say something like this. Hey, happy we're connecting. I just got off a call with a guy a few minutes ago. I mean, you know the type. I mean, so closed off, one word answers, thought he knew everything there was to know about marketing and lead generation. And we all know that just comes from fear. I mean, we all know that companies like that are never going to be able to scale their business. I mean, we all know that. Anyways, what were you hoping could happen by possibly working with an agency like us? Now, let me show you what I just did there. There's a lot of moving parts here, because what is the goal of your salespeople? It's to get the prospect to open up, right? To expand, to tell them the real problems and not hold anything back. So this is what's called an identity frame here. Okay, you're not going to use this as the first question, probably about the third question, because you got to warm it up. Yeah, happy we're connected. I just got off a call with a guy, a few minutes ago. He was so closed off. I mean, you know the type. Now, when I say he was so closed off, one word answers, thought he knew everything there was to know about marketing. And even if you don't sell marketing, you just plug whatever you have in here. And we all know that just comes from fear. I mean, we all know people or companies like that are never going to be able to scale their business. Anyways, so what am I doing here? I don't want them to be closed off. So this is what's called a negative identity. They don't want to associate with this person. So when I say that he was so closed off, like one word answers, now when I ask questions, it's going to be harder for this prospect to be what? So closed off. One word answers, because they don't want to be the identity of the person who can't open up, who thinks they know everything they know about XYZ, and who has fear and is never going to be able to scale and grow their business. You see what I'm doing there? I'm putting them into an identity they want to move away from. Does that make sense what I'm doing there? Okay, with a guy a few minutes ago, he was so closed off, like one word answers, thought he knew everything there was to know about marketing. We all know that just comes from fear. I mean, we all know people like that are never going to be able to grow and scale their business. Anyways, and then I go into my next question. Hey guys, Jeremy Miner here. Look, a lot of you leave comments wanting me to help you sell more. So the easiest way to get a hold of me, the quickest way, is to text me. So text me right now. It's 480-637-2944. So 480-637-2944. Listen, I started this company to help you learn how to close more deals, but do it the right way. Text me right now. Let's get back to the training video. So it doesn't really matter what I'm selling. The frame is the same, okay? So I want them to move away from this. And so because I'm saying he or she was so closed off, one word answers, thought they knew everything there was to know about blank, and we all know that just comes from fear, that is not an identity that anybody wants to associate themselves with. And because of that, they are more than likely to be more open, giving you bigger answers, more truthful answers. They're going to be more open to think that they maybe don't know everything there is to know about what you're offering, because they don't want to be associated with somebody who has fear, who can't scale their business because they're never able to open up. Now, if you want to master selling, because I know that's why you watch me here on YouTube and other channels, make sure you text me at this number, 480-637-2944, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. Here's my only suggestion. When you subscribe here, do not share this channel with your competitor. So you got a friend that's competing in a different company against you. Don't show them this channel because you don't want them to learn what I'm going to train you here. Only share this with people outside of what you sell. Take care.